2, 1, go.
Welcome again, and welcome Facebook Live to Boost Biz Ed Denver. We're here for some great networking and to refuel with actionable education to take our businesses higher, one action at a time. Take great notes and mark what action you can take immediately, and we'll hear from everybody at the end. For those online, just leave your comments in the comments. So today, Brooke Chesnut of Brooke Chesnut Inc. presents the new face of business. Brooke has dedicated 30 years to building successful leadership, training, consulting, and mentoring programs for multiple industries in Colorado. He is a generational expert who designs custom programs to guide small and large businesses through the challenging generational issues that exist in business today. Recently, Brooke became an adjunct professor at the Daniel School of Business at University of Denver, presenting generational leadership workshops to their corporate clients and MBA graduates. Brooke's passion about delivering only current and relevant content is the essence of his success. His latest topic, the new face of business, will keep audiences engaged with creative ideas, current examples, humor, and solution-based results. With rousing applause, please help me welcome Brooke Chesnut of Brooke Chesnut Inc.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for coming. Your timing is impeccable.
Yeah, apparently.
And you are? Molly? All right. Have any of you heard of Generation Z or know what Generation Z is?
No, teacher, I know.
1, 2. A couple more. Okay. That's what I want to focus on today. I think a lot of us have heard a lot about the generation that came before Generation Z, known fondly as Generation Y. As in, why are we always talking about them? But those would be the millennials. But today, Generation Z is so powerful, they will literally, over time, start to transform the workforce of today. And I'm going to show you a couple of things about why they're going to do that, how they're going to do that, and all of you should have a handout. And what I would like for you to do is take some notes, and during the course of this presentation, which is only 35 minutes, maybe 40, we don't have a lot of time. But if during this period, if you have a question or a comment or a story, or you do not agree with my information, and you want to push back on my data, feel free to do so. And we can have an open dialogue and discussion about what our points are going to be. Okay? Real quick, I need 3 people to tell me what would you like to take away today. What do you want to take away? Come on, I'm going to write it down. Ashley.
How you can engage with Generation Z.
How you can, well, building on that, how you can encourage them to get off their devices and actually talk to you. I know, that may be a losing proposition, yeah. But I mean, it relates to what she's saying. Engage with them like in person, face to face.
Okay, first one, how to engage with the generation. Second one, encourage them to get off their devices. Good luck. Who's number 3?
What are the trends and patterns? What are the trends and patterns for this generation? What are the common denominators?
Okay.
These are your grandchildren, right?
There you go.
I know.
Like 2 to 19, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. 3 questions. You ready?
All right. Thanks for speaking loudly in this kind of.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
All right. This is just a brief overview of the clients that I've been working with, from consulting to speaking to seminars. I would like to add Pacific Dental Services to this group, because I just spoke with them last week. to a great group of young, talented people who are changing the world of dentistry. On top of all this, I am also very passionate about climbing mountains. 1 month from today, I am leaving for Mount Everest to climb my 6th summit of the world. I've done 5, Everest will be number 6. Been working on this for 2 years. 1 month from today, I'll be leaving. But the reason I share that with you is that I use my expedition experiences to help coach, mentor, teach, and suggest some kind of synergistic changes in team building, overcoming adversity, better communication, and also creating successful organizations. Okay, so that's a little bit about me. You ready? This is my goal today. I would like for all of you to somehow shift your thinking and change the way you possibly think about different types of generations. We're going to do a quick review of the generations, but have you noticed lately that everyone that I seem to speak to puts these young, old, in-between workers in boxes? For example, you boomers, you don't know anything about technology. You're so slow. Xers always want to take a shortcut to get to the solution. Millennials never want to get off their devices. They're always stuck on these devices, correct? And then we have a new generation, Generation Z. And people, it's happening right now at DU, CEOs and executives are just grouping them all together. Millennials, Gen Z, they're all the same. We'll just put them together. What do you think of that? Big mistake, and I'm going to show you why. Okay? Remember, if you got a question or a comment, speak up. So let's shift our thinking. How about these boomers? Joyce, Jerry, welcome to the club. Any other boomers in the house? Thank you, Carol. Sir? Yes? All right. So, what happened to us? Why are we still working? These younger people want to know why we're still working. Right? Can't you leave? Aren't you going to retire? The answer is no, for 2 reasons. One reason is because we can't retire yet. The other reason is because we love our work. And the reason we love it is because we contribute expertise to the workforce. So if you're in a business leadership position or you know people in a business leadership position, encourage them to invest in these boomers, because the boomers are not going away. And even if they say they are retired, they still want to contribute to people's organizations. They're very valuable. Okay, after the boomers, how about Gen Xers? Any Gen Xers in the crowd? Oh, we got one. All right, Gen X. They are, did you know this? Gen X is the smallest population on the planet and the smallest population in the workforce. Yet, they are the most valuable. You know why? Great work ethic, great creativity. They like work-life balance, right? But what do they want more than anything? What do they need more than anything, and they deserve it right now and they can't get it? What is it? No, not quite.
All the baby boomers are retired.
They're not retiring yet. So the Gen Xers want a promotion. They want a promotion. Quite frankly, they deserve it. But they can't get it because the boomers are not leaving fast enough. So Gen X, they need to send their kids to college. They want to build a bigger home. They want to do an add-on for the new baby. Right? Yeah. What I'm saying is that Gen X, be patient. There's great opportunities coming down the road. All right, number 3. The largest generation on the planet as we speak. 87 million millennials. Any millennials in the crowd today? Oh, lovely. They always seem to outnumber everybody. One of the greatest things about this generation is that they love to collaborate. They want to work on teams. They want to solve problems together, correct? But unlike Gen X, millennials want a work-life blend. Not a balance, a blend. In other words, they want to work, play, do their hobbies, talk to their friends, be on social media, and do all these things at the same time. Because they can. And that's a great point. They love to multitask because they can. They may not be really effective over time. More about that later. But they can do it. But what does a millennial or a younger worker want more than anything right now? What?
Beer on tap.
Beer on tap, ping pong, beanbag chairs. No, that is not
They
correct.
want to influence the future of their organization.
So what do they want? What do they need right now? Because they've been in the workforce a long time.
Some of them.
Some of them have. How many boomers here have millennial children besides me? Yeah. And these millennials want an opportunity. That's what they want. And why do they want that opportunity? Because they want to create an impact immediately. So if you give them an opportunity, okay, they're going to succeed or they're going to fail, but at the end of the day, they will learn something. And they'll make an impact. Does that all make sense? Kind of a quick review?
Can I just sum this up? Boomers want to contribute, Gen Xers want a promotion, and millennials want an opportunity to create an impact.
Correct.
Okay, just one minute.
Correct. Everybody get that? Any questions about that? All right. Then who comes after the millennials? Some people go, I don't know. Is there someone after the millennials? And I'm talking about people that were born roughly around 1994 up till 2010.
Some say it starts in 97.
Some
Like
do.
a few research centers.
So I will not. I will stand before you today, ladies and gentlemen. I will not put anyone in a birth date box.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not going to do it. Okay? I've had way too many pushbacks. But roughly, 94, 95 to 2010 was when this next generation, known as Gen Z, or they're known as the founders, the centennials, everything, and I just shortened it to IG. These young people, if you think about it, if they're born around 94, 95, that means in May of 2017, a year ago, the oldest Gen Zers have now graduated from college. They're 22, 23 years old. They did a summer internship over the summer, and in the fall of 17, they started in the workforce. And in 2018, right now, they are going out 67 are going to be coming into the workforce. And I was talking to Eric earlier, you have a lot in your company, correct?
Yep.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Why are they so different than millennials?
Well, they've grown up with the internet, self-technology.
That's one thing, but the word I'm looking for right away is they want to be independent. Remember what millennials want? What do they want? They want to be collaborative. Come and join our team. We want to solve this together. Right? Millennials work together. Gen Z wants to be independent. Give me the technology, give me the project. I'll sit at home and work between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. when I am most productive. I'll get the work done. Don't make me sit in an office and watch me. I'll get it done. Does that make sense?
What's interesting is, not surprising, there's a parallel between boomers and millennials, and Xers and Gen Z.
Well, who's raising the millennials?
Yes.
Baby boomers. Who's raising Gen Z? Gen X. More about that a little later.
Yep.
So they're independent, but then they're also very competitive. Why are they so competitive? And this is key, ladies and gentlemen. This is key. And Jared, I know if you're Gen Z kids, if you want to speak on it, just go ahead. Why are they competitive? This is key.
Well, my kids, I would say, maybe that's what you're fishing for. They feel an extreme urgency to know what the heck they would have to do in life very early in life because of the value proposition of college and a lot of other reasons.
Correct. That's great, thank you. One of the biggest reasons why is that Gen Z, when they were 12, 13, and 14 years old, they watched mom and dad get crushed during the recession. Mom lost her job, dad was demoted, and then their house was put up for foreclosure. Do you think that motivated preteens before they even got into high school? Oh yeah. They will not let that happen to them. So that's why they are so competitive. And the more you understand that and can coach people on that, the more you can put them in the right positions for success. But lastly, and most importantly, and Carol, to your point, okay, this young generation has never known a world without social media or the internet.
I would say social media, not till early 2000s.
Okay.
Giving data backs. The internet, yes.
Right, but now they're starting to talk.
As soon as they got to grade school,
But
there was social media.
all the other generations had to learn these folks have never known a world without it. So they are true digital natives. And the biggest takeaway that I want you to get from today, for the first time ever, the youngest people entering the workforce today are actually experts at things like technology. Well, Brooke, this is the pushback. How can that be? They're so young. These young people are now in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade writing code using JavaScript software as a prerequisite to go to high school. They are so far advanced from the previous generations. If I'm in business leadership, I am definitely going to invest in some of this young talent to see what they can bring to the workforce. Right? Make sense? Remember, it's not about where they went to school. It's not about what they're doing at home. It's what assets and skill sets they bring to the workforce. All right? So here are 3 key behaviors for this generation. And the first one is, because they're such digital natives, are you with me on your handout? First one is that they don't know the difference between a physical world and a digital world. It's all one world. And so a gentleman by the name of David Cast, psychologist, created this word called phygital. He's blended physical and digital. Isn't that clever? Well, the more that you can connect with these young workers in a phygital world, this is an example of a phygital world. Hey everybody, why do I have to sit around the table with everybody at a meeting when we can just video conference everybody in? It's the same thing. Right?
No, but yes.
See? That's what I'm going. Okay, here's the sales manager telling his Gen Zer to go downtown and visit with the client in person, because that's what we do. And he goes, okay, sure, I will. Yeah, hold on. He ends up just Skyping in, doing it over Skype. The client thought it was great, time effective, no problem going down, you don't have to go downtown, but they accomplished the goal. And to the young person, it doesn't make any difference if I'm there in person or if I'm in video. That is a phygital world. Does that make sense? Yeah? Pretty interesting.
Speak up.
No.
Because when you do the digital world, there's a lot of things that you get, but there's things that you get that you don't get in here. If we watch this video, it would be much different than sitting here listening.
And I agree with you. And in fact, most of these people agree with you. But guess who doesn't agree with you? These young people, sorry, Mr. Sales Manager, Mr. CEO, Mr. Whoever, the world is different today. And we can be way more effective doing it this way than having to be belly button to belly button. Because I would prefer that. That's my point. Here's another example. Why would Jeff Bezos at Amazon spend $14 billion and buy foods? Why? Biggest purchase ever. Food delivery, groceries, no. What else? Come on. Think of the digital world. Think of it. In the year 2020, 40% of all the consumers are going to be from this generation. So Jeff Bezos buys Whole Foods so that these young kids can walk in with their phones into Whole Foods, smell the coffees and the breads and the vegetables and the meats, and then they leave and go home and order everything online. It's not a physical experience, it's a digital experience. And that's what he is tapping into for the future. Okay? Let's keep going. Any questions on that? Remember, digital world. Oh, so you just ask the Gen Z about the digital world. See what they say. All right. What's FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out. What does that mean? That means that these young people are so talented. They are not interested in climbing the corporate ladder like those millennials are, right? Remember millennials? Give me a job, give me a cubicle, I will rise to the top just like mom and dad said I would. Because I'm so great. But they don't want to do that. What the Gen Zers want, they don't want to miss out on anything, so they want to join an organization that has a lattice structure. What does that mean?
Why would the millennials want to go too?
Some probably do.
Yes.
But a lot of the older ones, my daughter's one of them, she's 31, same age as Eric, she's like, wants to climb the ladder, get the VPs. There's some spread there. But when I talk about a lattice, you know what I mean by that? Kind of.
Well,
It's not a corporate ladder, but it's a different structure, but you're almost there, Maya.
multi-dimensional, interweaving a web.
Okay, so
Collaborative.
you hire this young person who wants to be an accountant. So they start here in accounting, but then they discover someone who's working over here in materials management. So now they want to try that. Oh, wow, I really like materials management, but now I want to see what's happening in the warehouse. Oh, that's really cool. I want to come over here and try customer service. Oh, I love customer service. Now I want to end up over here in acquisitions and mergers. What I'm saying is that these young talented people want to not miss out on any part of an organization. And what that does is create value. Not only in the young person, but for that organization by having a lattice structure. Fair enough?
Another way of leveraging ADHD.
Ah! Thank you, Jerry. Right, because their mind's going like this, 1,000,000 miles a moment. So give them a lattice. Let them try different things, and they're going to latch on to something. But think how much value they will bring.
Are you making a distinction saying that they don't want to climb the ladder, or that the structure with not wanting to tap and climb the ladder?
I think some might want to just, I'll climb the ladder. But I think when you look at the key behaviors that they have, they're going to be all over the place. And they're really good. Which is hard to believe for these young people. But they're really good. They may not converse very well because they've been around this thing too long. But before I miss it, folks, this is never going away. Never. It is only going to get more powerful. It is going to become more addictive. And I'm going to get to that in just a second. But that's the key. Okay? How we doing? Right. not learning it in college, I'll tell you that right now. And most of these young Gen Zers maybe won't even go to college. Okay? All right. Number 3, last but not least, this is a no-brainer. We already know this, but they believe in a we economy. Let's share resources like transportation. Let's share real estate, Airbnb. That's what they're all about. Okay? Again, Jeff Bezos, he's thinking, he buys all the brick and mortar so they experience it, but then they can still have a digital experience. They can still experience the physicalness of a car, but they do it all digitally. In order.
Are these folks similar to the millennials? You hear about millennials wanting experiences over things like they aren't going to take my furniture, so then this just is pretty similar?
Yep, more experiences.
Yeah.
Joyce makes a great point. Millennials, Gen Z, they all want experiences. That is key for them. Okay? Any questions on that? Those 3 items, key behaviors. How are we doing with the handout? Gen Z wants to be... Nope. They want to be... Nope.
Heard.
Say it again.
Heard.
Heard. Millennials and Gen Z want to be heard. Why? Why is that so important? If you don't get it in business today, you are in trouble. Why do they want to be heard? Come on, Chloe. Talk to me.
Personally, I'd say that there's a lot of pushback from the older generation that aren't taking them as seriously, and it's hard to be heard.
Correct. So my piece today is if you give the opportunity for these younger generations, millennials, also Gen Z, even more so, the opportunity not to have a say, but to have a voice. Or just sit at the table and listen. Are the leaders of the organization walking their walk? Do they have a mission? Do they have a brand? Do they have a purpose? And does it align with these young workers? Because if it does, and you give them that opportunity to sit at the table, you will start to build transparency. And transparency is huge in corporate America because these young people don't trust you, leaders. Why? Enron, MCI, you name all the corporate blunders that have happened. They don't trust them. So now you build transparency. On top of that, you build integrity. Those 2 words right there are key. And the last one that goes on top of this, which is the foundation for success, trust. If you can do that with all of your younger workers, you're going to be in a great position for success.
Really quickly, to apply to all this, there's a book, and anybody here kind of strengths finance, there's a book, Strengths Finance 2.0. So there's this book called Strengths-Based Leadership. And in this book, Tom Rath, he wrote Strengths Finance 2.0. So what do followers want? They want trust, they want hope, they want compassion, they want stability. And then he takes all the 34 strengths and he tells you how you can use your strength to help that happen.
Thank you, Joyce. I got to keep moving. Sorry. Thank you, Joyce. There's a great book out called The Gen Z Effect. Not really worried about Gen Z or the 6 forces that shape business, but that word right there, the Gen Z effect, is being described as the affordability and the simplicity of technology coming together and actually binding the generations versus dividing them. Let me say that again. The Gen Z effect is when the affordability and the simplicity of technology come together to actually bind and cohesively get together with all the generations versus dividing them. So, what does that mean? What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? Well, perfect example. Grandma with granddaughter experiencing a computer, maybe a website. Who's teaching who? Right? Who's teaching who? Yeah, I'm sure this young lady is teaching grandma, but they're having fun. But then translate it to the workforce. Here, these younger generations are using technology because it's simple and it's affordable, with older generations to make a project come alive. So now, tell me, where can a 7-year-old boy and a 70-year-old man have the exact same experience? The Apple Store. Think about it. Walk into the Apple Store, you got little kids playing, you got senior citizens, people in their 70s, the traditionalists, getting the new Apple Mac and figuring out how to do something on it. That's the Gen Z effect. Okay? Hyperconnected. What does that mean? What does that mean, folks? All the time. The world has shrunk. These younger people are now connected all over the planet. Not just to their generations, but all these other generations. So when I say hyperconnected, what I'm saying is that now there are more cellular devices than there are people. And that makes sense, because some people have 3 or 4 of them. But 8 out of 10 of you, 80% of the people in this room will either sleep with or have your device sleep next to you every single night. Do I speak the truth? Oh, yeah. Well, I use it for my alarm. Everyone's checking their texts, they hear the thing go. It's like an addiction, right? But on top of that, we've got all these motion cameras taking data, feeding more sensors. We've got Google eyewear and watches with more sensors, and now we're going to have these smart cars with more sensors. I'm going to have a sensory in this coat, because they're going to have to track when I wear it, why I wear it, where I'm taking it. More and more devices. We're going to be more and more connected. The question becomes, is it a distraction or is it an advantage? Which do you think? What's that?
Depends upon which age group you're in.
Okay, we're talking about the business world. How many people say, God, those millennials are always on their phone, you can't get away from it, they're always addicted, blah, 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 blah. Your mom. Oh, we're coming close to home. Here's my point, folks. Yes, it could be a distraction, or it could be a huge advantage. Why is that? What's that? So in other words, if all these people are connected and they love where they are and what they're doing, guess what they're going to do? John, Joanne, you're going to come work here. This place is unbelievable. I get to be heard. I get to have a voice. They have a great brand. They have a great mission, purpose, whatever. So if you're recruiting and looking for the best of the best, remember, folks, it's not what you do that they care about. They don't care what you do. They know how you do it. What do they want more than anything from you? They want to know your why. Y'all heard of Simon Sinek? Yeah. Read the book called Start With Why. Great book, easy read. He makes it very clear. Very clear. If you want to recruit the best of the best and then retain them, you better have a compelling story for why. And guess what? Ride the wave, because if you don't, you will get squashed like a bug. And I know that hurts for us, but I don't have a choice. My daughter, 31 years old, is moving away from texting. Guess what she wants to do? Snapchat. So now I gotta learn a whole new way to communicate with my own daughter via Snapchat. Are you kidding me? But it's true. Ride the wave, folks. Okay? Any questions on that?
I'm a little confused about this hyperactivity and all this stuff about the Gen Z Is there something else other than remember your why and instruction and advantage?
Because Gen Z is so hyper-connected that they are going to use their hyperconnectivity to basically do right by you or the exact opposite. Because if you don't do what you say you're going to do and they don't like you, oh my God, you're in trouble. They will wreak havoc on social media. All right, now it's your chance for leadership. Okay? What is, or what would you think would be your most ultimate competitive advantage in any organization? Here, you have a great organization. What's your ultimate competitive advantage?
Retaining top talent.
That's one. Yep. What do you do with that top talent?
Engage them.
Engage them. Yep. Okay. Anybody else? Think about it. The ultimate competitive advantage. What would it be? It's about talent, but even more so than that, it's diversity. The more diverse workforce you have, or you are a part of, or you are thinking about, the more advantages you have for success. Why would that be the case?
Different viewpoints.
Different viewpoints, what else? What's even more important than that? Chloe, different experiences, what else? Come on, you in the background, come on.
Different strengths, skill sets.
That's it. Different strengths, different skill sets, different aptitudes, right? It's all about diversity. And so this group basically is saying, not only are they advocating it, but it's now today a business imperative. You have to leverage the diversity of your skill sets. Your nationalities, your genders, all of that. But go deeper. You got to go deeper. What do I mean by that? When I say go deeper. Ready? Ready? Want to go deeper? Don't just think about diversity. Think about cognitive diversity. Because then, and only then, can you get an alignment of the organizational values of the company and of the people you're trying to recruit. Does that make sense?
What is cognitive diversity?
It's what's going on up here. A lot of it's going to come from here, but cognitive diversity means that the ideas that these young people have are going to mesh with, we hope, the ideas that the senior level leaders would have.
One quick example, I know we should wrap up, but what would be one specific thing you could say different between two different people in cognitive diversity?
I've got a senior level IT director who runs his network this way. I've got a brand new intern who's just started with us, who now writes code for the banking industry, and he has an idea cognitively to share with this other person about how to run his networks a better way. So the word here is alignment. Aligning these two different ideas to make a company very successful. Does that make sense?
I need to.
Oh yeah, and I got a whole nother talk on that.
Yeah.
That's a lot there. I know I'm throwing a lot at you. How are we doing? We doing okay? Yeah, we having any fun? What's that?
It's a total communication issue because you have to
Yes.
figure out what to communicate and how to communicate and how to be communicated to. So the person on the bottom is a starting point, communicating with us all the time, but we don't have to there for a while.
Right. But these younger people communicate differently than these other people, and vice versa. So there's a whole other communication piece to this. But that's how we're going to share our cognitive diversity. I'll talk about it afterwards. I'll talk about it afterwards. All right, 3 things you need to do. Once you have these amazing, diversely structured, cognitive diversity people on board, the first thing you have to do is invest. Invest your time, invest your resources, invest financially into having them with your company. And once they're on board, include them. Remember, want to be heard, want to sit at the table, they want to listen. And if you can do 1 and 2, the last one is influence. Creating influence in young people is a powerful tool. The great John Maxwell, leadership is nothing other than influence. Okay? Make sense? So, we talked about the boomers. They're not going away, and they bring great expertise to the workforce. We talked about Gen X. They're the ones in a position for great work ethic and also helping us move forward. Then we have the millennials, very collegial, very collaborative. They want to make an impact, they want to have an opportunity. And then lastly, we have Gen Z. And Gen Z is all about how they're going to transform the workforce because they are so gifted at such an early age. They're hyper-connected, and they're going to use that to your advantage versus a distraction as long as you walk your walk. And then lastly, we're going to leverage not only the diversity in our group, but the cognitive diversity of everybody on our team. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have. Questions? Discussion? Action items?
You know, how are different parenting styles affecting our outcomes?
2 out of 5
here?
days.
Are you ready for this?
It's good for you for a
This is a
while.
great point.
Yeah,
What influences these young people more than anything?
parents.
So millennial, okay, I'm a boomer, I screwed that up, okay, you coddled them, you feel entitled, blah, blah, blah. Who's parenting Gen Z? Gen X. And what are they telling their kids? If plan A doesn't work after graduation, you better have plan B, C, and D. Because moving back home with us is not an option. Period. They get it. So these young Gen Zers, affected by the recession, watched mom and dad. They've watched the millennials do what? Stumble and bumble, spend all this money. I hate this job, I hate that job, and they're at home playing video games in mom's basement. 38%. 38% of millennials still at home.
That's partly because of the economy.
It's economy, it's student debt, you name it, a number of things. But Gen Z, that's not going to happen to them. They've seen it. So the parenting, Carol, is huge. Huge.
Yeah.
And Gen Z gets it. And now these older millennials are having younger kids. They're going to do the same thing. Good question. What else? Yeah, there's a whole bunch more stuff. Talk about it. But I want to make sure, can we answer your questions? How to engage with the different generations. Have I given you some ideas to engage with Gen Z? What? Give you one example. That would make it a, what type of world?
Digital.
Digital world. If there's one word to take away, it's digital. Because when you're having a conversation with a Gen Zer, and just say, hey, so are you part of this new digital world? What do you mean by that? Encourage them to get off their devices. It's never going away. So the key thing is how do you leverage it? How do you have a conversation so that you at least recognize it and understand it? But I doubt this will ever go away.
Call this the remote control of our world.
Use it to your advantage. You start seeing them in restaurants. Waiters, they're all on their cell phones. Right? I know I talked to the Pacific Dentals group about giving, instantaneous feedback on a cell phone text. And of course, that was opening up a huge can of worms. But suffice it to say, I don't know if we'll ever get rid of them, but let's understand it and leverage that. And then lastly, the trends, the motivations, and the behaviors of Gen Z. Do you see why they behave like they do? That's my point today. So if you have some notes on your papers, you can think about those things. My information's on the back. I am more than happy to have a conversation or help or do specific programming for your workforces. Okay? Nate? Or go ahead.
better to call someone on the phone or go see them physically, or to just, because I know it's time efficient to do Zoom and all that stuff, but this is your personal opinion.
For me, I want to see them. I want to look them in the eye. I want them to feel my presence. I want to connect. I want to network. All that stuff. These younger people, it used to be a 12-second filter. That's now an 8-second filter. They have been bombarded from the internet their whole life. I don't have time for that. Sorry. I love you, Mom and Dad, but I don't have time for that. And Jerry's telling me about his kids. I mean, they're just ADHD. They're just all over the place. So they're not going to want to have this belly button talk. I get that. But I also think I could coach and help blend some of that. Because it's a blend. And the communication that you spoke of is a blend of belly button to belly button and digital. Does that make sense?
Who teaches them?
What's that?
Who teaches them?
Who teaches them?
Who teaches them? Gen Z and the baby boomers and everyone in between. There's nobody teaching.
No, there is no one teaching them. And that's a shame. It's a shame. But the parents need to do it. And then, of course, Joyce will teach everything you want to know about
I
LinkedIn.
think it's interesting that Toastmasters International, starting going by the end of the summer, will have everything getting out of paper and going digital because they saw this coming.
Right. And I want you to understand something, which is interesting. Do you know how all these senior level folks complain about everyone on their cell phones? Correct? All right. Summertime, 16th Street Mall. Walk down the 16th Street Mall, and out on the dining terraces are these huge groups of business executives. Men, women, right? All boomers. What are they doing? All of them are like this. Okay? So, when I say that, before you start to judge these young people, Mr. Boomer Executive, we, the boomers, look more like these younger people than they look like us. And Gen Z is going to transform that even more over time. Yeah? Makes sense? Thank you all. Good to be here.
All right. Well, hello, Boost. We're just going to take a second to talk a little bit about our allies, but once again, one more time for Brooke Chesnut from Brooke Chesnut Inc. Here, we'd like to thank our venue allies, Spaces Denver, Andrew and team. If you want a tour, you can ask that guy right there. My name's Nate. Oh yeah, cool. Then we're going to talk about how they can engage with us, right? I'll start. So my name's Nate. Last year I have a business called the Kite and Dart Group. If you want to engage with me, basically we provide coaching for people who are interested in a progressive conversation for business development. But my request today would be that you either ask Chloe, Molly, Ashley, or Noah the kind of work we do because they're all clients. Or if you want to learn more from me, just check the box. Ashley, how can people engage with you?
You can. It's just very distracting.
Surprise!
You can engage with me by scheduling an exploration session, and we can talk about all the things that you need help with, and we will come up with some solutions.
What about you, Noah?
All right. You can engage with me on face-to-face. Want to set up a one-to-one meeting, consultation. I'm down. I'm on all social media, Snowman Films, and so for me, digital and physical is completely one and the same. So yeah, face-to-face or digital, I'm all good.
And if you want to engage with our social media ally, Alex, just check the box on the form. Not sure where she went. This is her first time today.
Maybe for bathing.
Maybe. And our founder, Drew Shockley, says if you're tired of visitors bouncing away from your website, you should let the Call to Action Alliance dive into your business passions to create a standout online experience that moves your traffic into action. Remember, passion ignites action. Thank you, Facebook. See you next time.